Hey, Podnuttians. Welcome to this week's Android App Addicts podcast, show brought to you by people, normal users, for normal users, by normal users. And this week's episode is brought to you by Bill K. I want to say thank you very much, Bill K. You're a definite long-time Patreon subscriber. And by that, I mean you started 4 years ago and you went for about a year giving us support. So thank you very much, Bill K. I always will give people shout outs the if they were or ever supported the network. This week I'm joined by Ivor and I'm joined by Josh. How's everything going, Josh?
I'm doing pretty well, Dor. It's been a bit of a long week. My wife over the weekend, actually, I guess it was last Friday, left her credit cards and her cell phone on top of the roof of the car while leaving the gas station. And so kind of been running around trying to sort out that. Luckily, somebody had picked up all of her junk and actually brought it over to our house. So she was missing a couple cards, which I went back out and scoured the road and found the cards. But the her phone, which was in a life-proof case, I think it probably survived the fall, but then it looks like it got ran over by either a steamroller or a Mack truck. And so, yeah, been working on switching carriers as well and went through that whole rigmarole, and then come to find out that they can't port over her old number because they don't have coverage in Jasper, which is where the phone number is from. And so it's been a bit of a mess.
That's not good. But if the most wise British people have ever taught me anything, it's you should always look on the bright side of life. And it is a great opportunity for you to bless her with a fine Pixel device, and for yourself maybe to get a new phone.
I like the way that you think, Dor. And she's been in the Apple ecosystem for quite a while now, but I think that she wants to get out. So I don't know. I like this new carrier, which it's called Freedom Mobile, and it's the newest carrier in Canada here. And I like the plans and everything else. However, without being able to port an old number, we've been around this earth for quite a while, and you've got your phone number spread out all over the place and emergency contacts and things like that. So I don't know if it's worth trying to get a new number and then have to go through switching all that over.
I don't know. Part of it, you can think of it as like you're changing your clothes, and you can brush off people you don't want calling you anymore. But then you have to remind people you've got your numbers changed. There's no right decision. But I'll say, speaking of that, I'll definitely drop a link in the YouTube chat that Ivor blessed us with in the Reddit channel. How's everything going, Ivor?
Hey guys, really good, thanks. I'm really glad for Josh on two counts. First of all, I'm glad that the iPhone got smashed and not an Android phone. And second, I'm glad that he didn't leave his baby up on top of the roof of the car.
That's actually what I told her. I said, you can drop as many phones as you want. Just don't leave the baby up there.
I do know one person who's done that. And yeah, it wasn't nice. So, hopefully, thankfully, they managed to remember before they drove off. So everything was okay.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm just waiting for my son to get back from camp. He's been there for 5 days, out of cell phone range with no device, not even allowed a camera. So he's spent the last 5 days, so he's going to probably been through major withdrawal from his laptop and his tablets and his cell phones. And when he gets back, he's probably going to be really tired and grumpy. So that's something to look forward to.
So, I mean, yeah, he's going to come back with like the shakes. He's not, he's not going to know what to do. But I have to just go through really quick this image you put in the Reddit channel there, Ivor. Give me 1 second so I can post it to the live viewers as well. And it's basically side by side, Tim Cook and Huawei during their latest phone announcements, and it goes like this: Tim Cook introducing the most powerful 4G chipset. Huawei, we have the 5G system on a chip Kerwin 990. Tim Cook introducing 18-watt fast charge. Huawei, we've had 40-watt supercharge with the Mate 20 Pro for over a year. Introducing a new design of a triple camera. We already launched the Mate 20 Pro last year. Introducing ultra wide angle night mode. We already launched the Mate 20 Pro last year. Introducing 2x zoom. We can shoot the moon with the P30 Pro at 50x zoom. To a huge swath of the American public and the first world public, they literally have no idea just how far behind in every signal technical arena that the iPhone is. I love the fact that at least we recognize the actual truth, and the truth is that it is maybe the most non-spectacular phone since maybe like the iPhone 7 launching. I think it's really funny, and I love all the quote unquote tech journalists who just can't stop swooning over a super mediocre device.
To be fair, the iPhone, it was an iPhone 6 that fell off, and the screen was completely shattered. The phone had a bend in it. It almost looked like a boomerang, and it still works. So, I mean, I got to give credit where credit is due.
So what does life case mean? What sort
no,
of
that's I believe it's called a life proof. It's just a type of full encased, or fully enclosed case.
Okay.
So, yeah, we've had a couple incidents with phones falling out of pockets into toilets and such. So the one that the phone is in now that I got her is I don't even know what it's called, but it was some Amazon brand, and it's actually a metal case with with rubber all the way around it and screws to put it together.
Yeah, well, I'm actually the proud owner of a Huawei Mate 20 Pro, and I have been enjoying these capabilities in this particular phone for quite a while now, about nearly a year. So I'm like you, Dora. I'm also wondering what all the fuss is about with the new iPhones. Every year, same phone.
Well, it's kind of like celebrating a new season of a reality television show.
Something
why?
Else I've never done.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, why? Don't you have better things to do? Like, I don't know, anything?
Well, obviously these people don't, because the number of articles that have been written about it and YouTubers who are doing reviews on them, it's nonsense.
Yeah, but that's American media and tech journalists, and I just love saying tech journalist because I'm sure it really makes every tech journalist upset when I say tech journalist.
It's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Well, exactly, because they think of themselves as just journalists, and it's like, sure, yeah, okay. Considering now every blogger, Tom, Dick, and Harry, is basically on the same level as they are.
What's the customer service experience for you guys when you go into whatever your carrier's store in the mall is?
Well, you usually end up having to wait about 4 hours to get served. And when you do, the person you're talking to has no idea what he's talking about. All they want to do is sell you an iPhone or a Samsung. They have no idea what the latest version of Android is. So yeah, I'm not... I try and do most of my stuff, my dealings with my carrier online.
Yeah, I'll second that. I will say there are supposed like real branded shops, and then there's third party people with the carrier name on them. Supposedly the real ones, you get better customer service, but I will say every single one I've been in, even when there's nobody in the store, literally nobody in the store, and I walk in, I still have to wait 20 minutes for someone to actually start to work on whatever I'm working on, kind of thing. If there's any customers in it all, it's easy 2 hours wait every time. And yes, look, the bad thing about having a low minimum wage is whenever you walk into a place, the odds are you're going to talk to an idiot. But the good side of a low minimum wage is that means idiots can get jobs. Okay, if we put that minimum wage up too high, they're not going to want to pay idiots. They're only going to want to pay good people. Then I don't know where all the idiots would go.
Well, I'm just wondering because we have our carrier now is called TELUS, and it's one of the big three up here. There's basically Bell, Rogers, and TELUS. And I went into the Freedom Mobile one and talked to them and thought, okay, this is great. I like what they're doing. I like this. And so I'm really thinking about switching. And then I went over to TELUS to talk to them about it. And the girl printed up a couple sheets of paper after I told her the phones I was looking at and brought it over. And it was actually going to cost more than what we're paying now. And we've been with TELUS for 15 years, something like that. And
doesn't count for anything, mate.
And I said, okay, well, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to pay more than I'm paying now. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm just going to go back to Freedom Mobile. And she said, oh, okay, have a good day. How do you just let somebody walk out like that?
Dude, you already know this. You've seen the memes on the internet with the guy with the girl walking down the street, looking back. That's what it is. Carriers and all companies don't care if you're right next to them. They don't care if you cook and you clean for them. All they care about is that new customer. That new customer. Oh, it's so alluring, so desirable. That's all they care about. That's why, like, every television provider, Comcast, Verizon, everybody, doesn't matter how long you've been with them, a new customer will always get a better deal than you. It's like spitting in your face.
I don't know a lot about business, but I'm pretty sure that at some point I heard that it's something like 10 times more expensive to get a new customer than it is to retain a customer that you already have. Isn't that something Business 101?
Not anymore now.
No, done. Okay.
No, and it's only because all they care about is growth. The customers who are already there are devalued every time you get another new customer. So the new customers has more potential adding to the bottom line and to the stock price. It's dumb. It's dumb. Stocks and everything are more based upon feelings and expectations than actual facts or hard numbers. Or else anybody with a degree in math could go into any stock market in the world and become rich. But okay. I'll say, okay. We mentioned Ivor's son and possible things he's going to have to overcome here when he gets back. So that reminded me of basically our show name and addiction, and I wanted to bring this only because look, there's no fancy way, there's no fun way to say it. Addiction in the world is a horrible thing. Doesn't matter what country you're in. Addiction has probably hurt somebody you love, you care about, or even possibly led to their downfall, their demise, or their death. Google is basically now promoting a addiction recovery website, and it's literally getting square footage on the homepage, which really doesn't happen that much. It's called recover together. I don't know anything. Okay. I just know it's really difficult to measure pain. You have to ask somebody if they're in pain. It's the same kind of thing with addiction. There's no test they can give to you and say, oh, you're addicted, this amount, because it's hard. It's a mental thing and a physical thing. You need people to help you through. Recovery is never something you ever can do by yourself. I mean, sure, there's maybe one or two people that existed who can get through it, but basically everybody needs help. Google promoting recovering together is the kind of thing that almost makes me want to feel good about Google again.
What's in it for Google, though? Is this just something they're doing for their public image, or is this something they're actually really serious about? And if they're really serious about it, what information are they sort of sucking up, hoovering up from the website? Looks like all they're doing is just launching a new website.
It's a website basically pushing people towards groups, organizations, and clinics who can offer support. And if this was Google 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I would say in defense of them, well, the logic is everybody they get off of crack, everybody they get off of heroin, everything they get off of crank, everybody they get off of alcohol, everybody they get off of any hard drug is another user with eyeballs on the internet. And Google wants more eyeballs on the internet, period.
That's a good point.
But in 2019, I'm sure there's a certain percentage of this is going to be good PR. Oh yeah, and it can help some people, but I can't be as my rose-colored glasses are not as rose-colored as they once were.
I'm slightly less skeptical of it, mainly because it's not Facebook. If it was Facebook, I'd be really skeptical. The article makes a really good point about the problems that Google ran afoul of in 2017 when it was reporting rampant scams for recovery centers in its own search results. So I think, this is probably a further step they're taking to control the amount of scams that are going through the Google servers for this sort of stuff and providing useful information for people who need rehabilitation.
It looks like it's only in the US as well.
Yeah.
Well, this is the kind of thing I hope. Listen, I don't want companies expanding into other countries unless it's really beneficial for the people in those countries. This is the kind of thing I'd really like it to be expanded. And just really quick, Ivor, you say, as long as it ain't Facebook, MRP Matt from MRP Tech Reviews on Podnuts, really nice guy. He disclosed to us on the Discord server that every time he logs into Facebook now, he said it's literally asking for my blood. It won't stop telling me that blood is needed in my area every single time I log into Facebook. And he's like, I already donate blood. You're not getting any more from me, Facebook. It's like, I would trust Google and Amazon more than I trust Facebook. I'll say that.
Amazon, jeez. That's a stretch.
Well, I'll say this. Jeff is the most recent rich person out of the three companies. He still has time to prove to me that he's going to do good things with his money, with his wealth, with his power, with everything. Time's running out, though. Time's running out. He's gonna have to do something quicker than later, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I didn't even know this month is National Recovery Month. It's seemingly every 2 weeks at work, I get an email saying it's National Something Month, but not National Recovery Month. And I'm really tempted now to send an anonymous email to my employer's ethics board asking, why don't we see such a thing, considering there's at least 2 people in my building who every day are pretty enhanced, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows it.
Whoa, really?
Oh, well, yeah, sure, yeah. Oh, I'm a government employee. Takes the act of Congress for,
Yeah, to get rid of you.
Yeah.
I read in the chat saying it's tinfoil time. It's Google's way of brainwashing people. which I think is a very good point.
Well, I'll say if it is tinfoil, then you're only helping the cause. Berkeley, ultra left school did a 5-year study where they were looking at all kinds of foil, including tinfoil, even though nowadays nothing's tinfoil, it's all aluminum foil. And tinfoil and aluminum foil hats would actually amplify all the signals.
Yep.
So just to let you know, if you are protecting yourself in air quotes with any kind of foil, you're actually unprotecting yourself.
The best hat that I've seen like that was this. I used to work at a hardware store, and this guy would come in and he had a wool cap, or a toque as it's called up here. And the whole thing was covered in pennies. Probably about a $5 hat, actually.
They turned his head into a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
Red's also saying it's National Milkshake Day and Play Video Games Day.
Well, I got diabetes, so I'm not gonna get no milkshake. And video games day, I really don't have time. I wish I did. But I'll say, since Josh might be looking for a new phone here, this was an interesting article, and that's the best I can possibly say about it. Over on Gizmodo, and the real point I'm bringing up with this article is just the fact that Gizmodo is more of a normal website. I mean, it isn't Forbes or CNN or something like that, but it's a news website that does all kinds of news, not just the hard tech stuff. Gizmodo's article says all the phone companies not named Apple and Samsung that you should care about. And realistically, this is the kind of website I can see sharing with less techie friends. You know what I mean? This isn't for people watching this show or listening to the show, but this is a link that if you want, you can give family members or friends. Because there's more than a couple brands that I'm sure they've never heard of. But there's once in a while, there's one they did hear of, like Nokia. Nokia is fighting tooth and nail to become relevant again, is what I'm going to say. And they're on the way up. They've gotten better, a lot better, a hell of a lot better. They just haven't hit that like sweet spot yet. But there's more than a couple brands in here that I have no problem saying I haven't really heard of either. But
yeah, I've heard of the Jollaphone. I've got a distant cousin who actually, on my wife's side, who lives in Switzerland, and he uses a Jollaphone, and he thinks it's fantastic. Sailfish OS is wonderful and does everything that he wants it to do, and yeah. So I was quite surprised to hear that he actually had it, because I don't know anybody else who uses it.
Yeah, I know there was a certain niche in that country that was genuinely wanting to buy it, partially just to support the local country people. But I don't know if it was popular any place else, is what I'll say.
It's a good link, Dor. And it's interesting to see that, you've got Realme founded in 2018, and Jolla founded in 2012, and Nokia founded in 1865.
Yeah.
I spent some time in northern Finland, parts of 3 years consecutively, and the first pair of rubber boots that I had were Nokia rubber boots.
Nice.
Yeah, so they actually, I believe they started making tires, but that doesn't seem right for 1865 either. So
were they heated boots?
What's that?
Were they heated boots? Did they come with an app? You could connect them to Wi-Fi? Control them with an app?
Nope, just regular old gum boots.
Yeah, but there was one brand in here, and I'm going to see if I can find it again. It might have been, no, it wasn't TCL. TCL has actually had one or two success stories. Wasn't Nubia. Wasn't Vivo. Vivo. Okay, yeah, Vivo was one of them. That was a subsidiary of OnePlus, which I did not know that, which makes me feel better about Vivo. But there was another one, because OnePlus was founded in 2013, and they're actually middle-aged compared to the other phone manufacturers. I was like, genuinely shocked at how some of them were really, really recent, and then some of them were really, really old. And OnePlus was like right in the middle. I will say, OnePlus, I still feel like they're better than average company is what I'm going to say.
Well, if anybody has any suggestions on phones, maybe that aren't mainstream, I'm definitely open to suggestions at this point. So shoot an email to aaa@podnuts.com if you have any suggestions.
Is your wife a heavy user of a phone? Does she use it for a lot of things, or is it just a phone and text?
Not a heavy user, no.
Yeah. Because you can't go past a Xiaomi, I think, in terms of value. And it's a very similar interface and look and feel to the iPhone, so she'd probably adapt to it pretty easily. They're deliberately made to look like an iPhone, both in the UI and the physical appearance of the phone itself, and they're bloody cheap. So that would be one recommendation I'd recommend you look at anyway.
Well, per Door's suggestion, she may be getting a Pixel XL.
A second-hand one.
Great shape, though. Great shape.
Yeah, well looked after. Only one old lady driver.
Yeah. So, were there any news or anything like that was in the news this week that you guys saw?
No, I didn't have any news this week, I'm afraid.
No, it just seemed like a lot of apps with malware.
Oh,
Yeah, but did you look at the actual list of apps?
No, I know it's all.
I'll say, have you ever heard of them?
No,
they're all rubbish.
No, yeah, exactly. So I hate to say it, but if a guy is standing on a street corner saying it's the end of the world unless you give me $50, and your friend walks over and give him $50, is it really the guy's fault, or is it your friend for being an idiot? Well, I mean, honestly, I hate saying it, but that's the way I feel about these apps I'm seeing. They're, if you fall for those apps, I don't know what to tell you except for, P.T. Barnum said it: a sucker's born every minute.
Yeah, but if your friend gives him $50 and the world doesn't end, maybe that's the reason why.
I'm happy you're optimistic about it. Here's a link that I saw, and I had to bookmark this one for two reasons. Okay. I used to be a Walkman fanatic. I always had one on my person. I listened to, I would go through batteries all the time. And for some reason, they have a picture of a Game Boy at the top of this article. It's really confusing, but it's a Sony releases a 40th anniversary Walkman. And the gimmick is, and they don't have it in this video, there's a case you can buy with it that when you close the case, there's a window on the front and there's a magnet in the device. And when it realizes the case is closed, through the window, you see a cassette and the wheels turning inside it. And it says whatever the audio that you're playing on the device. And that was kind of, cool.
Can you get a pencil with a rubber on the end and turn it and stick it in the hole and turn it around?
The holes are just digital. They're not real. But this is an Android device is what I'm going to say. They don't advertise podcasting whatsoever anywhere. Where in 2019, even though complete turds like Ron Burgundy have a podcast, you would have thought they would have, at least mentioned it. But they didn't. But they did, try to highlight higher end audio on it, decent sized battery on it. It can actually charge your other devices, things like that. Good physical buttons on the side, just like the old school Walkman. Only 16 gigs of internal storage, which is unbelievable. Micro SD support, I believe, up to 2 terabyte. $500.
Wow.
What?
I know. That's the whole thing. Now, if you take a look at the page and like scroll down, you can see there is a picture of the case with the window right below the video. Here's the thing. I hope they launch it at $500, and I hope all the suckers buy for $500, and then I hope in 8 months it's $200, because maybe it's worth $200. I know it's not worth $500.
I hope in 1 month it's $200. Serves them right for spending $500 on it in the first place. Jeez.
The kicker is it runs on AA batteries.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Walkman fanatic from, back in the day, and I will never pay $500 for this device.
Have you still got one, Door?
The last one I had was actually a disc-based one that actually could read data CDs, so I could put on there. I want to say it was 40 hours worth of audio in one shot.
That's cool.
And I actually still have it somewhere. But yeah, with that one, the weird thing was it didn't take AA batteries. I cannot remember the name of the batteries that were they were taken, but they were essentially the same capacity as AA batteries, but they were flat. They were very flat, in fact. You could go back in the day to like a Radio Shack to get the batteries, but I couldn't find them anyplace else. But they lasted a good amount of time. With the 40-hour digital disc, I could listen to the whole thing and still have some extra juice.
This website is quite annoying as well. It's CNN Business.
You think so too, huh?
And like you said, for one, I don't know why the video auto played for me, which usually doesn't happen. But you're right. There's a picture of a Game Boy.
Yeah.
And then as you scroll down past that video automatically relocates to the top right of the screen and is still there, and apparently has nothing to do with this article. I think people are just like, they find something cool to do with React and then just throw it into a website, even though it has nothing to do with.
Welcome to CNN.
Yeah.
Yeah. I closed it as soon as the video started playing automatically. Shut it down.
Okay, and then I'll say this, like the last, like in air quotes, news type thing I wanted to bring, and it's only because I saw a lot of websites and a lot of tech people completely like swooning over this, nothing is absolute good or bad. Okay, maybe there's, but not this. It was like a Tech Radar was the article that I tagged, which is only a slightly less annoying website. And it says, are you sick of Chrome on Android? Vivaldi has released a new customizable all alternative. The long and the short of it is, quite literally now, I'm going to venture to say 2 years ago on Linux for the Rest of Us, I brought Vivaldi to Podnuts, and it's slowly and steadily, I'm going to say, gotten better. And when I say slowly and steadily, I mean very, very slowly. It's gotten better, but it's gotten better. But if you're sick of Chrome and you put Vivaldi on your device, it's kind of like you're sick of your face hurting and you slap it with a frying pan. Vivaldi is Chrome. Okay? It is Chromium taken out, polished up. It's still Chrome, people. If you're sick of Chrome, I guarantee you will not see any difference in anything by using Vivaldi. In fact, when it comes to privacy, I don't know anything that Vivaldi does that's good. And if you're sick of Chrome, what are you sick of Chrome about? The only thing I know of is people complaining about privacy.
Well, Chrome is also a rampant RAM user and takes up cycles on your processor.
Not on the phone, because it isn't Chrome. That's what I've literally contacted like 10 podcasts in the last year. for like people who think Google Stadia, since it can run in the Chrome OS, it's going to run on your phone inside of Chrome and stuff like that. And it's like, you don't really understand, do you? While it has the name Chrome on it and your browser has the name Chrome on it, they're not the same code base, not even close. You cannot get the desktop Chrome to run on anything except for an x86 or x64 processor. You will never get it to run on an ARM processor because that's the way Google wants it. So when you're on Android, you don't have Chrome. You have nothing even remotely close to Chrome. You can't do any add-ons. You can't do any plugins. You can't do any extensions. If you go to the flags area, it's different. It's all different. And if you go to Vivaldi, their flags area and Chrome on Android, guess what? It's kind of the same. With that said, Vivaldi is still a solid browser. Chrome doesn't suck. Let's just get that out there. All browsers suck. All of them. Vivaldi's fine. I use it at work. I love the history pane in Vivaldi because it literally gives me a calendar. And in the calendar, instead of meetings, it shows me websites that I went to. And the more I went to the website, the higher up it is in the day. Little things like that make Vivaldi on desktop to me a very usable. But I loaded it up on the Android device and I opened it up and I said, it's retextured Chrome. Instead of the bar being at the top, it's at the bottom. You know.
Yeah. I used Opera on my device and my desktop for quite a while. But I found more and more things just would not work on Opera. And I had really no choice but to use Chrome. I always found myself going back to Chrome to use things.
Yeah, I mean, I hate saying it like this. If you really hate what Chrome does, you can use Firefox. But if you really hate what Chrome does, Firefox isn't really that much different. Maybe you should use like a DOS-based, command line-based browser because, I don't know. But, I'll say this. Vivaldi browser by Vivaldi Technologies. 1,715 reviews, E for everyone, no in-app ads, no in-app purchases, just a browser. E for everyone. It is in beta. 4.1 average reviews. Updated September 6, 2019. Size varies with device. 50,000 installs. Current version 2.7. Something, 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 something. Requires 5.0 and up. Content rating E again. Permissions are just, if you take a look at Chrome's permissions, you'll find they're remarkably identical. Identity, photo, camera, contacts, device and app history, storage, microphone, location, Wi-Fi connection, real sync stats, run at start, prevent device from sleeping. Yeah, basically everything. But it's nice. It's a perfectly fine browser. If you want different choices on your phone, I definitely support installing Vivaldi alongside Chrome. Maybe one browser's for gym stuff, the other browser's for political stuff. I don't
know. Firefox Focus, I think, is probably if you're looking at anonymous or privacy browsing on your phone, that's a good option as well. Deletes everything.
DuckDuckGo as well.
Yep.
That's an old classic.
Yeah. Firefox Focus is, I'll say, fine for what it is, but it doesn't offer.
It's pretty basic.
Well, no. There's a difference between, I got to remember the words right. Antonymity, and anonymous thing. There's two different things.
Anonymity?
Thank you.
Is that, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, that's the word.
Okay.
Firefox Focus does nothing for actual privacy or anonymousness because you can still be fingerprinted through it. It still sends over device cookies over through it. You use it when you don't want your phone to catch bloat because every time you exit, it clears everything out. That's about it. It doesn't really do much, and by default it loads the incognito keyboard. It does plenty of little things, but in terms of like if you're in a third world country and you need to hide stuff from your government, Firefox Focus ain't going to do anything to help you there. But
is any browser going to help you with that? I mean, they all do tracking, don't they?
Only one with the built-in VPN with a service that you trust.
Right. But even a VPN is not going to stop trackers and cookies.
No, but if you're using a VPN that you trust, it can filter them out.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
They not all do. In fact, most don't, because that just attracts more governmental attention, but it's possible. But yeah, I mean, we are almost at the point where we're getting overwhelmed with browsers again. We went through it years ago. It seems like we're going to go through it yet again. So any more news items on your guys' docket?
No, nothing from me.
Okay, then last news thing, I'll just remind people, if you want these kind of links ahead of time, if you go over to reddit.com/r/podnuts, there's a link from September 6th, which was about 6 days ago, literally the day after the last show, Friday, because today is Thursday the 12th, 9 p.m. New York times. 25 temporarily free and 23 on sale apps and games for Friday. I went through the list. There was absolutely nothing I saw that at least jumped out as me as something that I have to get right now. But I'll say this. I would love somebody to show me a Venn diagram to literally go through every single one of these lists through the history of Android Police. I'll pay you $50 if you do it. I'm throwing my money in the ring. I'll pay somebody $50. Other people can chip in as well. Go through every single one of these lists, list every single app in one of these lists, and then show a Venn diagram of every single application listed as applications hosting malware or unwantedware or spyware or some Trojan application. If there's any overlap, I would love to know about it.
That's like $1,000 in New Zealand.
This again, always with the New Zealand dollars. Jeez. Oi.
There is one on here, Dor, that caught my eye. The Neuro Simulator Volume 1.
It was $13. Okay.
Looking at the picture, look, well, and it's still, though, it's not free here. It's $17.99.
Is that a game or an app?
Yeah, $14 here.
It's an app, but it looks kind of interesting.
It was $14, yeah.
Maybe it's supposed to help patients better understand what's going on with surgeries. I don't know.
I just hope that your surgeon's not like looking at his phone, checking this out and then going back to your head and then looking back to his phone. Hopefully he's watching football.
Yeah.
Actually, I keep a track of our personal finances with a spreadsheet, and I've been looking for something that I could use on my phone that integrates with my bank. And that Personal Finance Pro Cost Accounting Family Budget app, which is number 2 in the apps list, that looks pretty interesting. I might see if I can give that a go and see if it works here in New Zealand with all our New Zealand pesos.
Well, I'll say the only bad thing is for everybody, basically all these sales are over unless you visited reddit.com/r/podnuts. Then you would have seen this the day it came out. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I would like to keep track of finances, but the wife happily volunteered for that task. Thank God. Because I told her, I said, if we're going to rely on my money management skill, I hope you like to eat roadkill.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, it's gonna not be pretty. Okay, so do you have any apps for us this week, Josh?
I do, Dor. None of them involve roadkill, unfortunately.
Okay. I'm not hesitant at all to see what you bring me.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
Well, I'm going to start boring, and we'll work our way up. This is called Team Up Calendar, and it is a pretty decent calendar sharing app. So I've actually used it in a couple different circumstances, one being with my wife, and then one being I'm on the board of directors for a local charity. And so we, as a board, use this calendar as well. And so that's what it is. It's a syncing calendar. You can create your events and then color coordinate it for who the task is for, or who the doctor appointment is for, or if it's for both people or all 10 people, things like that. There's also a web app as well.
Oh, I mean, it better have a web app, because my logic is it might be easier to organize, set up, establish things on a desktop, but then easier to view, see what's assigned to you, and for reminders on mobile. But with that said, I will say this does look like a pretty polished mobile screen, like views on it.
It is. It's quite nice, actually.
So Google has a family calendar option as well. You're saying you use this with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
I use a Google Family Calendar. So basically, everyone in the family can put their appointments or stuff in that, and everyone can see it. Is there anything that this app we've got here that does that the Google Family app doesn't? The Google Family Calendar doesn't?
Oh, I'm not sure. I actually use another app for my calendar. I don't actually use, well, I guess it all syncs through Google Calendars, but yeah, I haven't really explored Google Calendars that much.
Yeah, I will say there was a exploit vulnerability for at least the last 4 months on Google Calendar. They finally admitted it last week. No link in the notes, sorry. Where people would send malicious invites through Google Calendar.
Yeah.
But you didn't really know about it until the event popped up either in your browser or in your mobile device. And then if you click that link, that went to something that was malicious. They finally closed that up, but beforehand, if you got any of these invites, you literally had to just basically go open up your Google Calendar, go to the cog, go to settings, and you had to turn off basically allowing invites from anybody. You had to say only allow invites from people in my contacts list. And I'll say, speaking of quote unquote security, I find it almost comically hysterical how everybody in the media, I mean, timing is everything, but how they barely mentioned and barely went into any in-depth about the servers over in Asia that were actively exploiting the previous 6 versions of iOS devices, specifically targeted at religious people in China, basically, and religious people going to China. And no one really mentioned that, even though people won't shut up about how iOS is supposedly secure where Android is not. Anybody who thinks their mobile smart operating system is secure, to me, that's like somebody who just doesn't know how anything works. If you crave utter security, do not have a smart device of any of any kind. If you feel like your government can do something bad to you because of your sex, your color of your skin, your ethnicity, your religion, your lack of religion, whatever, you really should not have a smart device, and you should try to contact nice people to help get you out of wherever you're at.
Ivor, referring back to the Google Calendar, would that be something that you would do? You could use for work or for you know, when you have a group of people that don't share Google accounts as well, or do you need to
I
have
think
access to the Google account?
no, I think the Google family, because they're getting into this whole family dynamic where like the head of the family, I suppose, would set up a family account, and you know, everyone you can invite your family members who each have their own individual Google accounts, and they have access to the calendar and the family library and the Play Store and that sort of thing. And you know, you set up a separate calendar which everyone can see that you put events or reminders into. I think this is quite similar, but I think it does a few extra things, like it's saying it's got a color-coded group calendar, so you can show different colors for different people, and you've got an option to put pictures, and it's got some things around navigation to dates and so on. So I think it might be a little bit more user-friendly than the Google Family Calendar.
Yeah, I'll say this: Google, just like Outlook, if you send an invite to a non-Google or non-Outlook person, they'll get what is a universally accepted meeting type format where they can say yes or no to it. Most other calendaring systems will integrate it into them. Even in Nextcloud, there's a built-in calendaring option and a built-in address book option, to where I could literally host my own calendar in Nextcloud, send an invite to somebody in Gmail and then somebody else to office.com, and it will still show up in their calendars as genuine invites. To me, the good thing about this one is it's onto itself, to where if you do send something to Google or Outlook, it probably wouldn't favor either one more, if that made any sense.
Well, that was one of the things, and I've had it for quite a while, so I haven't really checked lately, but I don't believe I could get it to sync to any other calendars, which was a bit unfortunate. So now if you're using another calendar, you have to use two calendars.
Oh, okay. I'll give it a go anyway to see how it goes.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. This will never be able to sync to anything else. But if you send invites from this, other calendars can have at least some of the same meetings as this. Very cool. You want me to bring my first app there, Ivor?
Well, as we're talking about families, do you think it would be a good opportunity to bring in the Google Family Link app that I was going to talk about?
Sure. Yeah.
So with my son away, he's 11 years old and he's away on camp. He's been away for 5 days, and he catches the bus with his younger sister. And she doesn't have a cell phone, but he does. So we haven't been too worried about anything going wrong on the bus, because she's always got her brother there with a phone who can call us if anything happens. But recently, with being away on camp, we had to give her a temporary cell phone. She's only 9 years old, so we couldn't really give her a permanent one yet. I don't think she's quite ready for it. But one thing I installed on it was the Google Family Link for children and teens and for parents. There's two apps. There's one for the adults and one for the children. So the Google Family Link for parents allows you to do all sorts of things on the particular device that you loaded on. It gives you total control over what apps are installed on that device. You can set what rating is acceptable for apps and games, as well as films, books, and music, anything from the Google Play Store, basically. You can apply filters to the Chrome browser, so that blocks mature sites, or you can specify only these sites can be accessed on this phone. There's a huge amount of functionality in the app itself. It automatically applies a safe search filter. It restricts third-party apps on Google Assistant. It gives you a list of apps that are installed and allowed, and a list of apps that are blocked, and you can just specify which ones are to be allowed and which ones are to be blocked. You can change the Google account password, because the kids are always forgetting their passwords. So you can change their passwords or delete their account entirely. They have access to photo sharing, and they can only access YouTube Kids, which is, I suppose, a bit better than the actual full YouTube app itself. You can, what I love is that you can set the times that the phone is active for. So if it reaches a time that you say that this is time for bed, so at 8 o'clock, it'll automatically shut down, and it won't start up again until the next morning. And yeah, it just goes, the sort of things it can do as well as obviously the location. You can track in real time the location of the phone, which provides quite a lot of peace of mind if you're worried about young ones out on their own in the big bad world.
Very cool. I will say YouTube Kids wasn't very kid friendly, at least when I launched it and I did some rando searches to it. And Google did just get hit with a FTC fine for child's I want to say CAPA Child Online Privacy Act here in the United States. No one is allowed to gather information about kids for any reason without parents' consent. Google was just hit with a huge fine, the largest fine ever in the history of the Children's Online Privacy Act, where it turns out Google was not only gathering information about kids, but they were pitching themselves to companies like Hasbro and Mattel as being the number one source for kids' eyeballs. So
yeah, I think that was mainly the YouTube app. YouTube got in trouble for collecting their data and sharing it with advertisers. I mean, but that's the Google operating model. That's what they do. That's what YouTube does. I don't see the seriousness of it. Actually, I think they're just having a go at Google because it's a big corporation. And
well, and it isn't that YouTube is part of Google. It's the only thing that kids are on these days. Kids don't even know the internet exists. They don't. They just know that YouTube exists. And it's some lawmaker who looked at their niece, nephew, or whatever and said, that's all they do. That's all they do. They must be doing something wrong. That company must be doing something wrong. And in the whole end, it's the largest fine that it was ever delivered. At the same time, it was not even a slap on the wrist to a company the girth of Google. So,
I don't think they were handing out kids' details to pedophiles, though. They were just really trying to follow their own business model, which works okay with adults, but they didn't realize the extra sensitivity that goes with that information. So, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and I mean, I do love the idea of being able to open my phone and see where my kid is at any time. It's one of those like safety security kind of things.
Yeah.
So there's definitely features. Well, yes. I do like those kind of features. And yes, I cannot tell you the number of time my oldest kid completely forgot what his password was. And I'm like a nerd thinking, what do you mean you forgot your password? It's your password. It isn't even hard.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. But very cool. And honestly, this was a Google thing that I didn't hear anybody else talk about, and it was news to me.
Yeah, if you didn't know it was out there, you'd be struggling. But yeah, this just gives you a whole lot of options to manage what your child does with their device. Works on tablets as well.
Very cool. I have a completely pointless application, but these days, with kids, like the stories are when kids graduate out of high school, they have to take classes to learn how to open up cans of food because they don't know how to do it. And a whole bunch of like basic stuff like that. Well, this honestly is along those same lines, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little neurotic. And like when my youngest son goes to cook popcorn, right on the popcorn instructions, it tells you do not hit the popcorn button on the microwave. And it's because there's no one set amount of time you're supposed to cook microwave popcorn. The gimmick with microwave popcorn is you're supposed to put it on high and run it until it starts to slow down enough in the popping sounds. And I'm like, well, what's slow enough? How do I know when slow enough is? So this application, Popcorn Expert AI Cooking Assistant by RBSFT Food and Drink, E for Everyone, 1028 reviews, no in-app ads, no in-app purchases, free and G, 4.6 average reviews, updated September 9th, 2019, 7.8 megs in size, 500 plus installs, current version 1.0.7, 5.0 Android and up. E for Everyone, again, I will say permissions. It does say phone, storage, microphone, device, and other. It really needs access to your microphone, because what you do is you basically pop the popcorn in the microwave and you turn this app on, and it can essentially listen to the kernels popping, and it will tell you when is the most optimum time to stop the microwave. Because if you keep letting it go for too long, you'll literally burn your popcorn at least a little bit.
That's fantastic. I wonder how many people are going to put their phone in with the popcorn, though.
The same number of people who thought it was possible if you put your phone in your microwave, you can quick charge it.
This is the sort of app I would expect Josh to bring.
Okay. And I'll say this is powered by Google TensionFlow. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Google TensionFlow is a system of services that they're releasing. Some of them are literally Raspberry Pi size computers, $20, $30 microcomputers that are optimized in doing basic math calculations and heavily overly engineered to communicate with the Google TensionFlow cloud to try to, the more people in the logic is the more people using this app for their popcorn, literally the better everyone's popcorn will come out. I'm just saying. So that is the idea of crowdsourced machine learning. The more inputs you have, the more possible these things can actually be more accurate. Now, again, absolution does not exist. Perfection is unobtainable. But these kinds of systems, there are a certain percentage of success you can achieve. And my wife and my kids love their popcorn. Since it's loaded with carbs, I can't touch it, but damn, it smells good.
I have a couple of questions, Dor.
Avocado questions?
Yeah.
Well, it's a fruit technically, but it has the content in the vitamins and minerals of a vegetable.
Wow, that's good to know. It says that it's powered by Google TensorFlow machine learning engine, but right above that, there's a notice about privacy that says the entire analysis takes place on the device. The sound is not transferred to any external systems. You can be sure your privacy is not at risk while using this application.
Right.
So is that not a juxtaposition of two separate things?
No. It's like when you put your finger on a fingerprint reader, your fingerprint doesn't actually get stored. There are certain spots on your fingerprint that are XYZ'd out, and then it's put through an algorithm and a set of numbers are stored. So it's never your fingerprint that's stored. The sound never goes up to the cloud. The statistics about the sound go up to the cloud.
Okay, because I don't want anybody listening to my popcorn.
They're not going to hear it. They're just going to see it. 0001. 00001.
Then I want to put your eyes to the fourth review on the page.
Uh-huh. Well, your number 4 is probably different than my number 4.
Does it start with ho?
Unfortunately, it does. Welcome to the internet, people.
Yeah, does anyone remember Silicon Valley?
Yes, considering the final season's coming up. Yes.
All right. And the Not Hot Dog app?
Yep.
This is that all over again.
Kind of.
Right. Have you ever had a bad bowl of popcorn?
I guess, I'm sure.
It's impossible to make bad popcorn.
Well, no, I definitely had bad popcorn. My dad going to the thrift store, buying the 55-gallon size drum thing of popcorn, to where by the time you get even halfway down, the popcorn's almost chewy because it's so old.
It's popcorn. Why you need an app to tell you when your popcorn's ready? I mean, what next?
Well,
Are we going to have an
I
app
guess
that
you haven't
tells
had
when to
burnt.
change?
I guess you haven't had burnt popcorn.
No, that's my point. I've
Yeah,
never
well,
had a
then
bad bowl
put-
of popcorn.
Put
And I'm
the
not
microwave
needing this app.
popcorn in the microwave and hit the popcorn button. And what will come out, you will be able to smell it. It's burnt popcorn.
Is it possible to even burn popcorn in the microwave?
Yes.
Oh.
You
Yeah,
can't overcook stuff in the microwave?
Yeah, but burn it? Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've seen it all now.
Well, Josh hasn't brought us his next app, so I don't think that's possible.
My next app is called Dungeon Scroll by Robinson Technologies Corporation. It has an average of 3.8 reviews out of 260. It is eligible for the family library, Ivor. Updated February 12th, 2019, 5,000 plus installs, current version 1.0.8, and size 16 megs. This is a dungeon adventure that you guys know Boggle, the game Boggle?
Oh. This smells like an educational app.
It's a bit like that. Basically, you get jumbled up letters and you have to create words from the letters in order to deal damage to the dungeon foes. And then you can get heals and things like that. So it's quite interesting. It's kind of fun. You have to you can, I think 3 letters is the minimum, and then you get special letters that could deal extra damage and things like that.
See, I was hoping you were going to say 3 is the maximum because then I'll do great. I need stuff like it and is to give me some kind of credit.
Yeah, it might be good for the kids.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I remember there was like 2 versions of this game, if I remember. There was one version where it was totally encased, right? Where you would shake it up and it would have like a 5x5 grid and it would be all the letters. And I want to say wasn't there another version where they were like in a bag and you would like dump them out?
Scrabble has a bag. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm not thinking of the same thing, but I do remember Bobble because I remember being like ashamed as a child, like ashamed. I bet, like 2 or 3 people would go before me and I'd look down at mine and I'm like, well, okay, I got to go to the bathroom, guys.
Just flip the table over and
then just like go out the front door and just go home. Because I really was bad at spelling.
Yeah, I've played Boggle with people that I don't even understand how they can do it. You think you do well and then they have 15 more words than you got.
Gotcha. Very cool. So what's your next app there, Ivor?
My next app is one called Space Launch Now. And I will just put that in the chat. And so this app is 4.8 rated in the Play Store, 50,000 plus installs. Last updated on September the 9th. Current version 3.2.0, rated for 3+. It is supported by advertising and in-app products. So you basically, it's a free version. The free version will show you all the future space launches that are scheduled to take place around the world. And it's not just any one particular organization that's doing the launch. It's basically all of them. And you can, it will show you a countdown for the next launch. And you can set alarms to remind you to wake you up before the next launch occurs so you can watch it. It gives you news and events about space launches. And you can check out all the nerdy details on vehicle and launcher specifications and pictures, and gives you all a lot of detailed information on space stations, astronaut profiles, and you can filter which launches you want to follow. So that's the free version, but if you pay between $1.43 and $54.99, that's New Zealand. I'm not sure what they, but you get ad removal. You can pay for ad removal. You get custom widgets, weather forecasts from the launch pad. You can sync it with your calendar, so you can get a reminder from your calendar when there's going to be a launch. And it even has Wear OS complications, so you can get reminded on your Wear OS smartwatch. And there's a whole thing going in Discord around these launches, so you get a special supporter role in the Discord chat, which happens around each launch as well. I thought it was a really comprehensive app that shows you all the details about all future launches and what space station's up to at the moment.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost said this is worth it before you even said the money, just because the people I know who are like, I don't know what to call them, rocket heads, the people who are like utterly interested in SpaceX, in these rockets going off, they're like I don't want to say a cult, but they're like into this, like major. And don't get me wrong, I did watch one or two of the SpaceX launches last year, and it was pretty freaking cool. And I made sure my kid watched it too. I got no problem paying them $1, you know, for extra stuff, just honestly to support them, because this is work getting all this together, keeping all this together, kind of thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of effort gone into this app, and there are lots of other similar apps in this Play Store, but I think this one does the best job of pulling it all together. You know, anything you want to drill down on, it's there.
Gotcha. That's very cool. Okay. Then I'm going to bring my next one. Let me tab through a couple. I want to see something. Yeah. This one I'm going to bring just because it's a slight bit gimmicky, but at the same token, if you have the right device, I believe it's actually pretty useful, is what I'm going to say. This is a augmented reality app. I do believe VR is it's still kind of a joke, even at the last the big gaming conference. I can't remember what it's called now. Was it E3? Literally zero VR being at that gaming conference. But AR, I still think, has plenty of places where it can be utilized. This will only work really good on phones with good processors and Android devices that have AR Core on them. If you don't know if your phone supports AR Core, basically just go ahead and load up Google Play, search for AR space Core, and you'll see if it's already installed on your phone. If your phone supports it, it's installed there by default. This is called Magic Plan 2D/3D floor plans and AR measurements by Sensopia Inc. Productivity app. Does have some in-app purchases, no in-app ads, free to download, 36,000 reviews, 4.4 average reviews, updated September 3rd, 2019. Size varies with device, 1 million plus installs. Version and Android version varies with device. Content rating is E for everyone. In-app purchase, $2.99 to $200. I have no idea what in this app could be worth $200. But I will say, my phone does have AR Core on it. It's not the fastest or best processor, but it's decent. I was genuinely shocked at how I could point my phone at like my kitchen table, and it's a square, and it told me how big my kitchen table was. I then put the phone down. I pulled out a measuring tape, and it was that big. I mean, you maybe like, you know, a 32nd smaller or bigger kind of thing, but it was right there. I was genuinely shocked at that. So I literally went around the house and I started measuring things. And I know now Josh is distracted by the video 32 seconds in. But I will say, this is a very interesting app. You basically go through your house, you can map out your entire floor plan, and then when you're done, you have basically a floor plan that you can play with. It's expandable, extendable. You can put things in it so you can see how big your couch is, and can you move your couch to a different part of your house, or your TV in a better part of your house. I could see somebody just moving into a house or getting ready to move into a house having this kind of app and actually having a lot of fun with it. Unless you're a interior designer type thing, I'm not sure how much you shall get out of this, but I know I can tell you this: it's pretty cool show off of what your phone can do.
This is awesome. And not just because of the video at 32 seconds. I would like to watch the video with sound, though. It actually looks quite entertaining. I'm definitely going to install this and try it out, because apparently the Google Pixel XL has AR core, so got that going for me.
Very cool.
Did you try anything else, Dor? Did you do your floor plan or anything like that? Or
Well, I didn't take my pants off, but I did go around my basement level, which is smaller. It's actually the same exact size as the other levels, but this also has a garage, and I didn't do the garage. You have to have a clear vantage point of each corner. That's one of the gimmicks. If you have garbage or stuff piled up in a corner of your house, you're not going to be able to get accurate measurements. So you might have to move some stuff around. I had to move 2 things around in order to actually get a correct floor plan in my house.
where else are you supposed to keep your garbage? Only so much will fit under the rug in the closet.
Yeah, my kids shove it all under their bed. I don't know where they got that idea from.
And then can you export the actual map that it creates?
I was unaware of any export type function. I will say that. Everything I looked at, this app wanted to be your one and only stop. It does say, you're right, exports as PDF, JPEG, PNG, SVG, CSV, and DFX. And I do believe DFX is one of those AutoCAD type formats.
You could 3D print your house, Dor.
I was just thinking that you could 3D put this into a 3D printer.
Yeah. I don't know how exciting it would be, but yeah.
Yeah, I get the feeling they're really just scratching the surface of what AR is capable of, and it's a shame. I think that a lot of care and attention was put onto VR, and all that investment went into that, but AR was pretty much ignored during that whole VR madness, and now people are just finally starting to come back to the possibilities that are inherent in AR, and I think it's about time.
Very cool. And I do think one of the dirty secrets at Google was the fact that during, I want to say it was the 2-year time span of the original launch of Google Goggles until earlier this year, they actually did sell over 200,000 pairs of them to private businesses. It was like almost like warehouse work where the people needed both hands to do their job, but the people were wearing Google goggles to basically show them what to do next in their job. And supposedly they saw efficiency go up at these places, like 80%, and injuries drop down significantly as well. So I'll say there's a time and a place for all kinds of technology. At the same time, kind of like in the same way, old technology never seems to die. There's always some kind of use case for it. I thought that was
Microsoft got right into that with their HoloLens. I think they saw the potential in the commercial market, and jumped right on it. And they've got some really good commercial products out there now for just that sort of thing. And I think Google's actually missed out to Microsoft in the terms of the market share.
Yeah, and Microsoft is supposedly going to release a dual screen device here soon, a folding dual screen device. which they've been teasing about privately or like leaking now. I want to say for 5 years, but it
it's the
keeps changing.
Centaur. Yeah, that was the Centaur or something, wasn't it? I think
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
yeah. We'll see if that ever sees light of day. So what's your next app there, Josh?
Very Bad Neighbor. So I'm not going to let you take...
Mine just moved out 2 weeks ago, so I wanted to go give the new neighbor a bottle of scotch.
Nice. And some burnt popcorn.
Yep.
So I don't want you to take this week's most useless app. So I'm going to bring this one. So it's Very Bad Neighbor, soundboard for neighbors, Studio 44. It's average of 4.1 reviews out of 92. There's 10,000 plus installs, version 1.0.0, updated February 9th, 2018. And this is basically a soundboard of annoying sounds, which I would imagine you could play over your speakers to drive your neighbors crazy.
You know what I just found out? My home theater audio receiver has Wi-Fi, and I can access it from my browser down here. I might be able to mess with the family. I'm just saying.
Nice.
But and I have to say, content rating, teen with sexual content. Just saying, you know.
Yeah, there's a little something on some of these.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Pretty much. Yeah, so there's construction sounds, doors slamming, babies crying, alarm clocks going off, dogs, cats, party, XXX. I don't know what that is. Moving furniture, fighting, vomiting. So yeah, you can and you can play as many, or you can stack as many as you want to get as annoying as you'd like.
Alrighty.
Super useful, this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you get on with your neighbors? Well, you live in the country, don't you?
We get on with our neighbors, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we don't really live that close to them, so it's easy to be friends with neighbors you can't see.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so 99 cents to buy, no in-app ads, no in-app purchases. So that's good.
Yeah, you should really go through with your idea there, Dor, and then give us a...
Well, the bad neighbors are gone. I drove them out.
With your family.
That we'll have to, see. Because it would be even better if I could do it when I'm not here. Because then they can't blame me.
Nice.
I think every parent is obliged to commit at least one act of psychological torture on their family once a day.
Very cool. So do you have any more apps there, Ivor?
Yeah, got one more. A while ago, I was a long-term user of an application called Pushbullet, which would send notifications and messages through from my phone to my browser, and I could respond to those. And then on this show a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, I saw you guys bought an app called Join, which had a lot more functionality attached to it, and I think was free, although there was a pro option as well. But I've recently discovered a Join, and both Join and Pushbullet had issues, technical issues, particularly as I've got a Huawei phone, and some things worked and some things didn't. But this particular app I've got here is called Chrono, Chrono. It's notifications message clipboard on PC. And it works on my Chromebook, which is great. And it's what I like about it is that didn't happen with Pushbullet, and it didn't happen with Join, was that whenever I send an SMS from my browser, it actually shows up in my phone. And neither Pushbullet or Join did that. and those two other applications had issues with sending images as well. You couldn't send pictures. And I think this one actually does a much better job of handling those image files as well. So its rating is 4.1. It has 10,000 plus installs. Last updated in September the 7th. Current version 2.2.4, rated for 3 plus. Supported by digital purchases. I'm not sure what they are. There's a free version and you can pay. Obviously, I'm not sure what you get when you pay, but I've never had to use it. And I just think it's a better option to use for getting the, if you don't, because I use an encrypted SMS app, and I don't want to use Google Messages because that's unencrypted, and those messages always have trouble getting through a third-party app like this. But I haven't had any issues like that so far with this one. I've been quite impressed.
Gotcha. I'll just say anything that advertises clipboard sharing, I will say instantly triggers my quote unquote Gibsonian response. My like Steve Gibson like response it kind of scares me, only because the most sensitive and damaging stuff on people's computers have a habit of going through their clipboards. But I will say I didn't do it much, but when I was able to have my Chromebook open and send text messages to people who would not use Voxer, it was hell of a much more convenient than having to, every time they send something, pick up my phone and start to type.
Yeah, well, I spend most of the day on my Chromebook, and it's just more useful to be able to just type in the Chromebook in the browser and respond to text messages that way.
Right.
Very handy. And doesn't cost anywhere near as much as Pushbullet.
Yeah, I mean, Pushbullet, I'll say this. The fact that it isn't free, everyone has a right to try to make a living, is what I'll say, but they were charging a bit much for what I saw that they could do. And yeah, I can't see what is behind the paywall with this app. Everything it's listing, it doesn't say cost money.
No, it's weird. So yeah, maybe I'll get a pro membership and see what you get with that.
Yeah, and it has built-in support for stuff like WhatsApp and Messenger, which I'll say more than a couple apps that I've seen in the past, they don't support even the more popular Google app service or messaging service. So them supporting other ones is a plus. I'm going to guess this has been around a while is what I'm going to say. Even though it only has 140 reviews, I'm going to guess it's still been around for a while to have that kind of support.
Yep. It's been recently updated though. So yeah, September 7th was the last update. So they're obviously still keeping it up to date.
Gotcha.
On Android 5.0 and up.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bring this game really quick to prove I'm a hypocrite, because, we all are. We might as well embrace what we are, because we all are. This is a VR game, but wait. Slow down and watch the video. Okay. This is called Acorn, Attack of the Squirrels. Resolution Games AB is the company. Action, 48 reviews, everyone 10 and up, completely free, no in-app ads, no in-app purchases, 3.4 average reviews, updated August 21st, 2019, 26 megs in size, 5,000 plus installs, current version 1.5.58531, 5.0 Android and up, content rating E for everyone 10 and up, fantasy violence, permissions, storage, photos, other really low permissions is what I'm going to say. Here's why I think this is a smart app. It's not that it's VR, because on Android, it's not VR, but you have a friend, hypothetically, with an actual VR headset, whether it be an Oculus, Vive, or whatever. You take your Android device, you can join his game and he sees everything in VR. He has to fight off everyone from attacking him. He is a tree. You are stuff like squirrels and stuff, and your job is to basically bombard him, assault him from your Android side. This is, to me, is really smart game design. I'm not a fan of VR whatsoever, but if a friend of mine had VR, hypothetically, I could see going over his house and telling him, let's play this and let's see how it is, kind of thing. Because it seems better than stuff like Fortnite, just saying.
It looks visually gorgeous. Is this the same view you would see in the headset?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm like genuinely, I'll say, impressed by it because it isn't hyper realistic graphics, but it's good looking graphics, and the same graphics look like what you get on your Android device. So everyone can have like equal enjoyment. It's basically like King of the Hill kind of thing. Everybody attacking one thing. I just thought it was ingenuitive.
So the video's got a picture of a guy using a proper VR set. Can you use it? Do you know if you can use it on like just a regular phone in a visor?
No, the actual tree part of the game, who are the people, he's the only one who has to buy the game. Everybody on Android, you get to play for free. They have to have a real genuine headset. I do believe it supports both Oculus and the HTC.
Quest. Yeah, it's got Oculus Quest, Oculus Rift, or HTC Vive. Okay.
Yeah, and it supports the Go too. The Go is the cheap one, but you have to buy the actual controller for it.
Okay. And so, you can join on iOS devices as well.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
No.
Yeah, cool. that looks really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of party games kind of thing, especially ones that A, don't involve spelling, B, don't involve trivia, because I'm, not great at that kind of stuff. Is what I'll say. We're definitely a little long. Do you have any more apps there, Josh?
No, I'm good, Dor.
Good. Okay. Well, then I'll ask. Do you have any final words from your side?
No, just well, I mean, that's kind of stupid. No, I don't. But here, let me say this. Reach out, say hello, let us know you're out there. It's like I'd say the same thing every week, but still haven't heard. So give us some feedback, aaa@podnuts.com, or go to the subreddit. And yeah, we love you guys and gals if there are any.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is. Do you have any final apps there, Ivor?
I have one more, which I think is compulsory. We're coming into spring now and barbecue season in the Southern Hemisphere, and this app is called Steak Mate. Now, I'm sure there are a few of these apps. It's produced by Meat and Livestock Australia, but I won't hold that against them. Basically, this app will you enter what kind of how you like your steak or whatever cut of meat you like, and how you want it done, and it will tell you how long you need to cook it for. And you can use it if you're having a barbecue with a lot of people who have different cuts and different types of meat, and it will queue them in a queue, and you can give them each person's piece of meat a name, and it'll tell you when that person's steak is ready to be taken off the barbecue.
Josh, can I ask Josh a question?
Yeah,
sure.
Josh, do you name your meat?
I do, but I tend not to name other people's meat.
Okay, sorry, Ivor.
It's okay. Cooking steak is an art, and if you're not very good at it, then this is a kind of app that will help you. I think a little bit more than cooking popcorn. But anyway, so this app's rated 4.5. It's got 100,000 plus installs. Last updated in August 2017. So it hasn't been used, it hasn't been updated for a while, but hey, it's steak.
Well, I was going to say, does meat change?
And it's completely free. So
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm tempted to buy. I think it's called a Suve. Suve.
Oh yeah. What's it called?
It's the water
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Another one. Yep.
I'm tempted to buy one of them just because you'll never need anything like this ever again. You literally just set the temperature, put it in the bag, put it in the device. You can leave it in the device 8 hours longer than is needed for it to be quote unquote cooked, and it will still come out the exact same doneness. I'm super tempted to buy that because here's the thing. I am utterly inconsistent with my steak output. Partially, it's you got to get it perfectly defrosted every time, or else the time changes. The thickness of meat, wherever we buy steaks, they're never the same thickness. So I like the idea that it actually does let you put in the thickness of meat, but that means I got to pull out a ruler and measure my meat. I mean, my wife already makes enough fun of me, Ivor.
I shouldn't have bought this app. I know.
Well,
I suppose it's just asking for it.
Well, yeah. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to install this and I'm going to see how it comes out. Hopefully it's fine. Yeah. I can't think any more puns. Okay. There's only one or two apps I want to bring really quick. And they're really, this one at least is a student-based application. And when I say student, I don't mean student kid. I mean student adult going off to college or something like that. This would be the kind of app that they could find beneficial, is what I want to say. Privacy is not a major concern with this app because it's saving you money. It's called Flip Weekly Shopping by the Flip Corporation. E for everyone, editor's choice. No in-app ads, no in-app purchases, completely free. 108,000 reviews. Average review 4.6. Updated September 5th, 2019. 10 million plus installs. Size, version, and Android version varies with device. Content rating E for everyone. It does want access to your contacts, Wi-Fi, identity, phone, camera, location, storage, other. Like I said, privacy is not your major concern with this app. What this app basically does is it helps you find food items on sale close to you. And I will say, if you're a college student or fresh out of college student, you do not want to pay too much for things that you have to get, like food. So I really like the idea of this. You can basically just put in things that you're looking for, and this can actually let you know when things come on sale. And it also has access to the local flyers for grocery stores and bigger stores. I have a smaller grocery store by me called Redner's, and actually their flyer was in here. Then of course it has the big names like the Walmarts and the Targets and the Aldis and stuff like that. It was like a one-stop shop to where you could compare lots of different stores' prices. And if you're really picky about saving money, this might be a cool app for you.
Do you know if it's just in the States store?
Honestly, just because it's Aldi, just because I see the name Aldi, which is not just a US thing.
Right.
And because it's editor's choice with literally 10 million plus installs, I have to believe it's not just the US, because that's a big number to be just US.
It's got a list of stores that it covers in the description. It covers Aldi, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Family Dollar, Dollar General, Maya, Big Lots, and Rite Aid, none of which are in New Zealand in any grocery kind of capacity. Target is here, but they sell furniture. Yeah. So
actually,
to me, but
you know what? I think it actually has. Yeah, because I see a list of Canadian stores.
Gotcha.
So it's actually it's personalized for location.
Why is it
Very
showing
cool.
me?
One more app I'm going to bring just because it struck up a chord in my brain to make me think about stuff. It made me think about media and people. There's been a lot of things happening with media here in the last couple years, in the sense of we've had like SOPA trying to be passed. We've had TIP trying to be passed. We have BitTorrent sites becoming incredibly more difficult to be usable. We have applications and services like Plex getting to the point of popularity. I legitimately worry about them. I'm hearing ads for them on podcast. I'm hearing people who I don't consider smart or nerds or geeky talking about Plex, which is not good. The more eyes that are looking at Plex, the more likely we're going to have government intervention asking to know what kind of private copyrighted material are people sharing on Plex. Okay, so it kind of scares me about Plex possibly getting too popular for its own good.
Well, they're also trying to go a bit mainstream now, aren't they? They're trying to go legit by bringing in Netflix and other paid subscription services into the Netflix shell.
Well, that, and they removed some of their plugins that were allowing people to have a little bit more flexibility with their own personal content. Yeah, and they're definitely pushing the paid model forward. So I found this was just an app that caught my eye. It's not a replacement for Plex in any shape, way, or form. It was just interesting with multimedia. It's called Zender, is how I'm going to pronounce it. Xender. Share music, video, share photos, share files. Zender file sharing team under tools, 1.974 million installs. E for everyone. I'm sorry, I was wrong again. 1.9 million reviews. 4.6 average rating. Updated August 15, 2019. Size, version, and Android version varies with device. 100 million installs. Content rating, E for everyone. Permissions, location, camera, device ID, photos, storage, SMS, phone, Wi-Fi connection, identity, device and app history, contacts, other. This thing is asking for access to everything. And I'm going to put money on it. I'll put another $50 out there. You're not going to hear about this app in the next year being one of the apps that has Trojans in it or malware in it. It's because what this app is trying to do is trying to free you from having to be tied down to central hub services when you want to share stuff on your device. And the reason it has so many installs is you have to understand, in the middle of Africa, a lot of India and a lot of China, when you use your phone, it's your main computer. And if you want to send a file to somebody standing right next to you, you don't want to have to send it up to the public internet and then back down to their device. This app will let you share information directly with somebody else using multiple protocols. I believe it wants to use Bluetooth, which is not the fastest protocol around, but it will definitely work with someone sitting right next to you. I'm sorry, 50 times faster than Bluetooth. I digress. So I'm pretty sure it uses a local Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi connection is what I'm going to guess.
Wi-Fi Direct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen this app before on a couple of devices. It came installed or pre-installed on a couple of devices I've owned. And my security software said it was problematic, so I got rid of it. But there is a definite use case for stuff like this. More and more now. Yeah.
I'll just say this, being a Linux weenie, the last people in the universe I trust is security software. If you listen to Steve Gibson at all, the biggest exploits, the biggest holes, the biggest vulnerabilities are from security software being installed on people's computers and themselves believing they know better than everybody else in the chain of security. It's almost like America telling Brazil that you have to put out those fires and we know it's better for your country than you kind of attitude. I don't think I've seen a single security company in the last decade that I consider to be trustworthy.
Well, the other thing about this app is that you've got to get other people to use it as well. I suppose having so many installs, over 100 million installs. It helps in that respect. But yeah, if you don't know anybody who also has it, you have to get them to install it, and then you got to go through all that rigmarole. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the same with anything, whether you want to host your own Plex server or anything else. I could see if I had multiple devices, just installing it and using it, because I'm really tired of pressuring people to use any software or anything, because it seems like you're never going to win, no matter what the software is, whether it's a photo software, a gallery software, a chat software, or media sharing software.
Yeah.
Well, it also says that it's cross-platform as well. So it supports Android, iOS, Tizen, Windows, PC, Mac, cross-platform transferring.
I didn't know it had desktop versions.
And then it also, like in the video, it was showing people transferring apps as well, or like, copying their apps to somebody else's phone.
Gotcha.
you can back up APK files.
Well, I'm sure it's not paid apps or protected apps. Very cool. I definitely did have more apps and stuff. I will say, if you're a $5 Patreon supporter, you saw all the extra links that I had and all the extra links that Ivor had in his notes. So we always have more stuff to bring. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Ivor, you have any parting words of wisdom?
Yeah, just following on from what Josh said, send us feedback. We love to get your feedback, especially us new guys. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks now, and we'd like to get some feedback on what you think, where you think we could improve, some constructive criticism. That would be very useful. So yeah, don't be afraid. Send us an email.
Every now and then I keep telling myself that I really should just once in a while send a test email just to make sure, stuff's working. Because sometimes I will say stuff just, stops working. Yeah, I will say, here's the app and link rundown. Google Addiction Help. All the phone companies not named Apple and Samsung. There's one in here. I'm going to throw in an extra hands-on TCL Plex review. I'm sorry, it's a really sexy phone. Sony releases a Walkman for its 40th anniversary. Sick of Chrome on Android. Vivaldi is here. Vivaldi browser beta application. 25 temporary free and 23 on sale apps. Neuro Simulator Volume 1 Personal Finance Pro Cost Accounting Family Budget. Team Up Calendar. Google Family Link for parents. Google Family Link for children and teens. Popcorn Expert AI Cooking Assistant. Dungeon Scroll. Space Launch Now. Watch SpaceX, NASA, etc. live. Magic Plan 2D/3D floor plans and AR measurements. Very Bad Neighbor soundboard for neighbors. Chrono notification messages clipboards on the PC. Acorn Attack of the Squirrels. Steakmate Flip weekly shopping. Zender share music, video, share photos, share file. All those apps and definitely more each and every week. If you want to support us again, do not forget, you can go to patreon.com/Android App Addicts. I want to thank everyone who's supporting me. We have 2 new supporters. I believe they're on the Podnuts level of sponsorship. Thank you to Robert and thank you to Michael. Also want to say, never forget, the best possible way to support this podcast directly, non-financially, is simply to share a link to an episode with friends or family, people you like, people you care about, not just random spam on Twitter or Facebook or MeWe or anything else. Share it with people you genuinely like. And never forget, aaa@podnuts.com. Easy way to contact all 3 of us, or you can send in a voicemail at 707-6-PODNUT. And I'm just going to end off with, never forget, support those who support you. We'll talk to everyone again real soon. Okay.
Good one, Door.
Thank you very much, guys. File, save projects.
You want us to stop recording?
Sure. Unless you want to do the intro this week.
Yep, I'll do the intro. Red in the chat room's given us a nice.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, so do the intro. Dor refuses to measure his meat. Ivor gets hot and buttered about popcorn, and Josh is a very bad neighbor. All will be explained in this week's episode of Android App Addicts.
Nice one. I can see that Zender being a really, really cool app. It's kind of the back to the sneaker net thing again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could see, honestly, like people at work or people like that. You know what I mean? Figuring out, oh, we can do this and not be on the work network and get stuff done.
Yeah.
So bang, bang, bang. Why isn't it closing? Am I doing something wrong?
And the fact that you can go between Android and iOS too, like, and
Yeah, I didn't see that. That, I'm not gonna lie, shocked me a little bit. So I figured iOS would not like that functionality or not appreciate it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But yeah, I'm hearing Plex way too many places in the last couple
Yeah.
weeks. That is not good. That is not good. People are gonna ruin it.
People ruin everything.
I know, but I hate when things get too popular for their own good. I like said to one guy, I'm never going to be on MeWe. And he said, why? They say they're, privacy first, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't care. Because as soon as they get too popular, the government will tell them what to do. And they have no choice. They have to do it. So, I'd rather just not be there when that happens. And I'll say this. Whew, the trolls on MeWe are active. And there's plenty of both sides. Hyperactive socialist people and hyperactive neo-Nazis are definitely on MeWe.
Yeah, I was on there at the very beginning when you started it up.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible, I'll say, but man, there was a lot of the nicest way I can put it, wackos on there. Kind of just makes you turn into like a Canadian and say, "Oh, don't you know? Yeah, oh yeah, okay.
Hey, forget about it, eh?
Oh, can we get the call started? We need to get out of this place." Yeah. Trolls are everywhere, but Swift, that's why I can't live in a city because all the trolls are closer to me. In fact, I'd rather live more rural just because they're further away. Like Josh said, how when neighbors aren't that close to you, it's hard not to like them. And there's truth to that. There's definite truth to that. Oh, man, what a day, man. The only thing that went good this week, I was able to personally help decommission like 6 Windows servers.
Nice.
And I couldn't believe a 20-year plus Windows admin who I remember years ago told me how stupid and useless Linux was, like over and over again. I'm sitting there and I'm helping a coworker with this Windows server issue. And he comes in the cube and we ask him, well, what do you think we should do? He says, I don't understand why we just can't use Linux. I'm like, what the hell? Where the hell am I at? You ain't supposed to say that stuff. He says, well, all you would have to do is just do a kill right there. I'm thinking to myself, well, you're right, but you shouldn't know that. I said, you saying that now just makes me want to use something else. I'm going to start using BSD. And I told the one admin, I showed him the Linux subsystem for Windows in how you can install basically full-blown Ubuntu or Arch right inside of Windows. And he asked me if I was going to try to use it. And I said, nope. He said, why? I said, because I'm not going to be the first. Because if I'm the first, I'm going to have to spend countless hours justifying what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. But I'm telling you this so you can keep an eye on everybody and tell me when you see somebody else using it. Because if somebody else is first, then I know I can use it and not have to worry about, people complaining. Oh, man. My back's been killing me all day. See, well, Telegram was one of the ones, Swift, that I could not understand why anybody thought was secure. Anything that convenient to get in and join is not secure. It's like the old Steve Gibson story of security and convenience are on the opposite end of an unbendable pole and the two ends will never meet. Anything that's convenient to get in by default isn't secure. There's always exceptions to the rule. One of the exceptions to the rule, in fact, I have in my pocket, and I don't have to measure it either. And it's my YubiKey.
Oh yeah. I've been thinking about getting one of those.
It is uncommonly convenient, uncommonly ridiculously convenient, and it's pretty secure. I mean, it isn't perfectly secure, but it's pretty damn secure. And this is the old one, the old cheap one. If my P20 Lite did NFC, I would have upgraded it and got one with NFC built in, because then I wouldn't have to use a fingerprint reader or any of that stuff. When I need to unlock my phone for something extra secure, I just would put it up to it. Okay, I do see your file there, Josh.
I'm just doing mine right now.
Brain hurts. Okay, so let me come here. Rename this one. Yeah, so we'll see how the oldest one reacts tomorrow. The worst thing is, this isn't the first time he's been there. He went to the podiatrist, I want to say 4 months ago, and they literally took the pliers that are basically like scissors, and they cut like a third of his nail off. And there's no way it felt good, is what I'm going to say. There's no way it felt good. And the doctor told him, look, there's a chance it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to have to come back. But there's also a chance that if you take care of this right, you're not going to have to come back. And I don't think he took care of it, so we're going back.
Yeah, my brother had one of those, and he ended up having the whole nail removed.
Yeah, I think that's what the doctor said. He said, if you come back, I'm going to suggest we get rid of the whole nail.
Yeah. Because there's so much bacteria down there in your feet. Just you get any infection or any kind of skin problem down there, and it just doesn't go away.
Yeah, I heard a like a stat thing this past week because for years people said there was 10 times more other organisms in a human body than human cells. Well, people actually track down where all those numbers and stuff came from. Well, it isn't exactly right. It's it's almost a 1-to-1 number. There's almost as many of them as human cells because our cells are so much bigger. But you go to the bathroom, you literally lose a third of them. And then, stuff has to be, quote unquote, built back up. Okay.
Yeah, but it's an ideal environment for bacteria. It's warm.
Oh yeah,
moist,
exactly. Cold.
Dark.
Oh yeah, dark. Yeah, dark. That's what I'm trying to say. Dark.
Yeah,
it's perfect. Yeah.
If your son's anything like my son, he doesn't change his socks.
Well, I'll just say this: he's not the cleanest fella, is what I'm going to say. But yes, but he is also hyperactively a nail cutter with the fingernail clippers. Like much more than I was as a kid. But I told him, I said, look, you got to do it right, or else, you're going to be right back in here doing the very same thing. Oh, yeah. Here's the link to that TCL Plex, which I will say I personally think that's a pretty damn sexy phone. Even though it has the whole
I saw a couple of reviews for that. Yeah. Nice and cheap too.
Exactly. 6 gigs of RAM, 6.5-inch display, Snapdragon 675, which is not the best right now. It's a fine one.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right. Yeah. 6 gigs of RAM, 3,800 milliamp battery. That's decent. That's just solid.
Yeah, the whole mid-range market's really warming up.
Yeah, and the rumor mill says the next round of Motorola devices are going to cause waves. They're going to cause people to once again look at Motorola. I would like that to be true.
They've got to do something about the cameras. Motorola cameras are shit. And today, you buy a cell phone, you're buying it for the camera, mainly. A lot of people. So, unless they can make the cameras better.
I don't know. I know
stuff uphill.
I know people I would have never suspected cared about a camera.
Exactly.
Made their choice because of the camera. Even like my one buddy at work he had a OnePlus like 2 versions ago, and then he just upgraded and got the brand new one, and he said the whole reason he got it was because of the camera. And I'm thinking to myself, I was almost afraid to ask him, what are you taking pictures of?
Toenails.
I don't know.
But
I was like, you're
yeah, Google did the right thing by putting the same camera in the Pixel 3a. It's another phone you want to get your wife, Josh. I'm going to look at for your wife is the Pixel 3a.
It's
nice and cheap. It's got an awesome camera.
Yeah, that's maybe one of the best bang for the buck devices right now.
Yeah.
If you care about cameras.
Oh, it's nice to be able to take good pictures.
But the lens itself is not that great. It's just a standard lens. It's the computational photography that goes on in the phone itself that really makes the difference.
All right, guys. I gotta get going.
Okay,
all right, man.
Thanks.
I'm just gonna
better go too.
Bookkeep.
Yeah. Go pick up your kid. Ivor.
No, the wife's doing that today.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah, but I've got some other things to do. So, all right.
Cool. All right, see you guys.
Neuro Simulator, $14. Oh my. All right, man.
Okay. See ya.
And I'm wondering who the hell would even buy that thing. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm easily confused. Personal finance, pro cost, accounting, family budget. That name does not roll off the tongue whatsoever. But it's a good looking app. I will say that. $249, that's fair. That's fair. I don't mind paying $3 or $4 if it's a solid application. Okay, team up calendar. That was definitely a Josh one. That is a free one. Love the icon. I think it's a good looking icon. Google Family Link for parents. I seriously did not hear about that one whatsoever, which I thought that would have been just because it's a Google app. I thought somebody would have talked about it. And we'll say YouTube for kids. I know the last time I looked at it, whoo man, that was a complete like sleazeball stuff. There was some bad stuff in that one. Hopefully they cleaned it up, but I sure ain't counting on them. It's too hard. It's too hard to know intent of a video because you can't just believe the title of the video or what someone calls a video. You have to actually be able to see what the intent is of the app. Or else people find ways to put stuff on there. Wow, we definitely had a lot of links this time. Up to 14, and I'm only up to Dungeon Scroll. Oh, 99 cents. I thought that was free. Completely wrong. SpaceX. That one was free to download, which I need to copy that one right now and send it to MR. Well, he's on, never mind. He's on iPhone, I forgot. But MRP loves him some rockets. I believe it was free. Yep. Magic Plan is free. Very Bad Neighbors. Bang. Bang. Josh. I believe that was a free one. It better have been a free one. 99 cents. That's not a free one. Not good. Not good. Good logo, though. Okay. We're already up to 18. Then we go like this. Just add a bunch more. Insert. 550. Bang. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. So let's just Chrono. I really am. I get a knee-jerk reaction. An app on my phone sending clipboard data bi-directional. Clipboard's where everything goes. Everything. Even if you do have some of these password managers, you still got to copy paste. I mean, we still haven't heard of like a great attack on clipboard applications, but I just keep thinking it's a matter of time. I do not know. steak meat. I mean, how did he not know? I don't know. I don't know. But it was completely free. I mean, I'm so dumb, I can't even identify what kind of steak it is by looking at it. I got to read what the packaging says to understand what it is. Yeah, I brought that one. Flip. Oh, Zender finally here, round in third. 22 links. Other shows that do Android, you suck. You're lucky if you have 4 links, or you're lucky if you actually take any links because you're mostly incompetent. Yep, that's what I said. Okay, let me bookmark these other things that I did not bring to the show. Again, Android share. Bang, bang, bang. Saved. Yeah. Bang. And I did start to upload the video. I hope I did. 'Cause if not, that takes a while. Seems like lately it's taking longer and longer. Which, of course, if it is, it's because the show's going longer. I'm almost tempted to literally put a timer. And after like an hour 5, an hour 10, start to like blitzkrieg. I am going to bookmark this one again. I'm not sure why. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that one. I'm not gonna do that one. Okay, so 22 applications. Dang. Delete. Bang, 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 bang. Copy these into my notepad to a global replace. Replace all. Replace all. Now I just remembered. I think I gotta do some housework as soon as I get upstairs. Okay. I apparently didn't start to upload. Dang it. Okay. Studio. Take it easy, Red. Yeah, I know. I like to eat steak. Think it tastes good. Think it tastes real good. Videos. Tell us how to improve YouTube tools. Take survey today. I agree. Next. List below, please select the country. I guess you're seeing if I'm being honest. Are you 18 years old? I guess you're definitely being honest because you already know this, YouTube. We value your opinion and would like to feedback creative videos. Please take 10 to 15 minutes. Now, let me start the upload first. Live. Come here. Click on title and description. Yep. So let me copy that. Let me at least get this in there. Why isn't it going up? Bang, bang. Links. Okay. Control C. Okay, let's see. The description should be updated now on YouTube. What other platforms, if any, do you create content for? Videos, live session, etc. Related to your YouTube channel. Snapchat, no. Instagram, no. TikTok, no. Twitch, no. Twitter, no. Facebook, no. Other specify. I only use YouTube. As a video creator, how satisfied are you with YouTube? Somewhat dissatisfied because you're scummy. In general, how strongly do you agree or disagree with the following statements? YouTube values the variety of different content. I strongly disagree. They value stuff that people watch and share and hoard and can't stop watching. YouTube is the leader in innovating web tech. I'm pretty sure I strongly disagree. YouTube makes me feel like part of the creator community. No, because I turn off monetization, so they hate me. YouTube understands me as a creator. No. Actually, I'd say, I'm going to say yes, because they understand that I don't like them. YouTube inspires me to keep improving. No. YouTube makes it fun to be a creator. Only somewhat disagree. YouTube allows me to express my creativity. Well, as long as it's so people don't find it offensive. So I'm going to say strongly disagree. YouTube is the primary place for me to nurture my fan base. No. YouTube offers transparent communication. No, you can never communicate to a person. Strongly disagree. YouTube is the best place for creators. No, any place is better. I'm here because I'm lazy. YouTube provides me with the biggest potential audience. Maybe. Strongly disagree. Somewhat disagree. YouTube provides the best opportunity to make revenue. Strongly disagree because they take my money. To what extent do you agree or disagree the following website apps offer help and create when you need it? So if I would have clicked Snapchat or any other ones, they'd be here, but they're not. Will help in education. What extent do you agree or disagree that the following website apps offer and help education when you need it? YouTube. Well, neither disagree or whatever, because you can find stuff. You got to look for it, but you can find stuff. How familiar are you with the following desktop tools for managing your YouTube channel on your computer? YouTube Studio. I'm pretty fair. Creator Studio Classic, a little bit better. VidQ, never heard of it. TrueBuddy, nope, scared of it. Hootsuite, I know a little. Hootsuite's fine. How often do you use the following desktop tools? YouTube Studio, at least, it's supposed to be a few times a week. Hootsuite, at least once a week. Classic, I basically never use it again. I'm never going to use it again. That's the goal. This thing's only halfway done. How satisfied are you with the following desktop tools for managing your YouTube channel? Hootsuite, neither, in the middle. Classic, slightly. YouTube regular studio, somewhat satisfied. This is ridiculous. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Hootsuite's desktop tools make your YouTube channel at your computer. Constantly provides updates. YouTube's somewhat disagrees. Help me engage. Strongly disagree. Is the primary way to learn about YouTube. Strongly disagree. Provides me with visual information. No. Gives me the information. No. Has all the features? No. All I do is post stuff. It's a soapbox, you retards. Constantly provides fresh updates. Strongly disagree. Provides me with valuable information. Strongly disagree. Primary way I learn about YouTube. Disagree. Has all the features I need? No. Gives me information? No. Well, yes, somewhat. Gives me engage my audience? Mildly. This is one stupid survey. Constantly provides fresh updates. Wow. This is like the exact same stuff over. They are so lazy they cannot even ask different questions. Metadata editor. Thinking about differences between YouTube Studio, which features would you say you prefer in each of the following? Metadata editor, classic. Dashboard Studio, Analytics Studio, Video Manager Studio, Comments Management. I think YouTube Studio, the new one. What is most valuable? Dashboard, metadata, video, content analysis. Which statement best? I should be getting paid for this. Which statement best reflects your overall opinion perception towards each desktop tool? Creator Studio speaks highly without being asked. These are some really stupid questions. Hootsuite is fine. Hootsuite like the most non. How familiar are you with the following companies, products, earnings, revenue from YouTube channels? Spreadshirt, I know it. Fanjoy, I know it. Amazon Merch, I know it. YouTube Merchant Show, I know it. It's a new stuff. Shopify, I know it. DFTBA, I actually like. Redbubble, I've heard of them too. I don't like most of them. Is YouTube channel currently earning revenue? No, 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 no. Because I want nothing to do with any of them. How satisfied are you with the following companies? Very dissatisfied, very dissatisfied, very dissatisfied, very dissatisfied. DFTBA, I give a very satisfied. Amazon, dissatisfied. YouTube, Merchant Shell, very dissatisfied. What extent do you agree or disagree? Earnings, revenue, YouTube channel, merch, YouTube Shell provides high quality goods. Strong disagree. His feature I like. Strong disagree. It's easy to set up. Strong disagree. I'm just giving them all negative feedback here because their system sucks. Provides high quality goods. Strong disagree. Worth the effort. No. Keep. No. Is worth the effort I put into it? No. Is easy to set up? Oh, I'm sure it's easy to set up. Offers the merch products I expect? Nope. Is visually appealing? Not really. Provides high quality goods? You already asked me twice, you retards. Good condition, meaningful equipment, easy to manage? No. None of it's good. None of it's easy. Same exact questions, but now it's just about a different company. So I'm just going to keep saying no to all of them because they're too stupid to understand how to set up a survey, even though they have the most PhD people percentage wise of any company in the history of the world, and they have the most PhDs in one company than the history of the world, and yet they cannot set up a survey or know how long it's going to take. Yeah, this is just really bad. Super bad. Overall opinion, critical. DFTBA is good. Critical. What tools come to mind when you think about measuring performance to my channel? Emails from people. Others that come to mind. Emails from people. Because everything else is garbage. How well do you know the website tools? Social Blade, YouTube Analytics, Birdsong, Twitch, Facebook Insights, Twitter Analytics, Instagram Insights. Oh God! How often do you use the? I use YouTube Analytics once, because I'm not getting money from you. You don't like me very much. No, none of it's good. None of it's easy to understand. It all sucks. To what extent you can help you grow? Not at all. What statement best reflects? Don't know. Critical without being asked. What first comes to mind? Features, repost, scans, re-upload your video, helps you identify being fairly used. Nothing. No, I'm gonna say my brain. That's what helps me. You know, I have a brain. I use a thing called a brain, not your tools. That was one reason I didn't get a job. I'm fairly familiar with your copyright matching tool. You keep slamming me for it. One job, they asked me what tool I used to help tune a database. I said none because they all suck. I use my brain. I didn't get the job. Needless to say, less than 6 months later, that organization was on nightly news because of database problems. In the past, how many times a copyright match tool identified other videos that matched yours? None, because I'm not doing monetization. How happy are you with it? I'm very dissatisfied. It sucks. It's not easy to use. It doesn't identify well. It's not an important way. and it creates conflict within creator community. Yes. Which statement best reflects your opinion? Oh my goodness. Critical. How many YouTube channels do you currently upload to? I think 3. What gender do you most identify with? Ay vey. Oh, that was such garbage. Okay, that is being now. This should have been okay. Man, I swear it's taking longer and longer to document. And I don't know why. Well, you know, I could just say it's because I'm getting old. ST Studio. Hey, Red. Hope everything's going good with you, man. Okay, so I got to come here. Let me say, if I click here, I believe I can get the, yep, there you go. The tags separated by commas. This is going to be a unlisted one, not a private one, with a custom thumbnail that goes Nextcloud, DDG, web images, badang. Looks good, looks good, looks good. That I don't need anymore. Looks good. That looks good. Let me go to Patreon and start the posting for the video that's getting uploaded. And I believe, I'm not positive, I do believe the uploaded video has a higher video quality than the YouTube stream. That's why I give that video to the Patreon supporters. Because I do believe it's a better quality. It's not as long though, and part of me thinks maybe they want longer. You know what I mean? Like the pre-show, post-show things. But I'll say this. Every creator who talks to me, which ain't many, and I've asked, like what percentage of your listeners watch that? The only ones that I trusted their numbers told me between 1% and 3%, which ain't a lot at all. Okay, that's uploading. That's uploading. That's good. Let me make sure I got Ivor's audio. I don't see. Oh, there you go. Okay, Ivor. I guess he put. Oh yeah, he put the intro in a separate file, which is fine. That's very fine. We're not going to skip that one and overwrite the rest of them. Oh my goodness. Okay, time for me to disconnect and do some final editing, and so I can kill the stream finally. Thank you guys for coming out. Red, always good to see you, man. Hope everything's going well with you. I doubt I'm going to be able to go to OLF this year. There was another conference I couldn't go to. This TechCon Unplugged is less than a month away. There's no way I can go to that one. And OLF is in like a month, and I don't think I'm going to be able to go to that one. The long and the short of it is the Podnuts income has decreased, but to be honest, I know people in Podnuts who, like, for instance, the Paradise Fire. I know a guy there lost his wife, lost his kids, lost his house, lost everything. So I've been helping him when I can. I know a guy down South Florida who's last year had a whole bunch of troubles with damaging because of floods. A guy in Texas by Houston who had a whole bunch of issues because of flooding. A guy in Kansas, I want to say, tornado 2 years ago messed his house up. So I've been trying to help these people when I can, where I can. And it's like I don't have enough money to you know, buy beer once a week or so, help those people, and go to a show. So I'll be able to go to events again soon enough. I just don't know when. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, even for this boring part. And everyone, I'll say this: everyone who does give a like, thank you. Don't feel like you got to do it. It does look cool when I look up and see it, but there's no stress when it isn't there. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Thank you guys for coming out. Talk to everyone again real soon.